And in other news, Ministry of Home Affairs has published a report where it noticed visas granted to Americans to work in India almost doubled from 23,000 in 2009 to 48,000 in 2010. It also noted
The first time I came to India was around 2004. I came traveling for 6 months. India is a beautiful place to dive. It's got a lot of potential for scuba diving. It's got two stunning island groups, Andaman Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, which are still largely unexplored, you know, to the world, and it's just an untouched destination full of adventure, full of discovery.
I had come to India in August of 2010. Basically, at that point of time, I had completed my graduation. I had worked over there also for approximately 6 months, and I wanted to have this experience abroad. So I have joined an organization there in Brazil, which works with this kind of exchange programs. And then I had this opportunity to move to India.
सब ठीक है?
Basically, what I do nowadays, it's everything into HR, like very generalist profile. So I interview people, I screen CVs, I do all the recruitment process. I'm taking care also of training, performance appraisals. So overall in HR, I take care of. My colleagues, they had to help me a lot in the beginning, and so everything was like learning from scratch.
Well, basketball, first of all, has taken me around the world. I've had the opportunity to go to the States on a scholarship through basketball. And ever since that, I played professionally in Australia. I played for the N1 Tour, and I played in Europe. I know the game here is already very popular. There's a lot of boys and girls that are playing the game, and they're very passionate to get better. So, my main mission is to let them know how to get to that level. So whenever I meet kids and I tell them what's gotten me to that level, what kind of dedication it takes, what kind of training I do. I think if they have these, main key points, they can become a professional athlete and they can see the world. Yeah, always do.
Always.
These last 2 years, I spent, a tremendous amount of time here in Bombay and Delhi. And like last season, I was with the Indian national team. So, I spent the whole year training with them, playing. And this year I've had more chance to actually get into the coaching side of it and, develop the game more so that way.
So if I have it here, the guy has to go across the body,
the game always stays with me, and you know, most of the places all over the world the game is played. So, you know, you get the opportunity to play against different players and meet different people through the game. You know, so I think that's very important, and I love the fact that, you know, I've had the opportunity to see the world through the game. So I want to pass it on. You know, I want to spread the word, and I want the game to build up in this country.
The school has been launched by an Indian education trust called Kasagao Education Society, and as part of their venture they knew they wanted to hire a partner because it was an international school, and they wanted to bring in teaching methodologies that were a reflection of an international program. So they chose us. They came to our school one night, I think it was November 2008, and here this group of about 6 Indians showed up and said, we'd like to tour the school. And we showed them around and they said, we'd like to partner with you. I think part of the story has been 2 different communities learning about how to communicate. And the school is a reflection of people sharing knowledge. When I first knew I was coming to India, I did a pin drop on Google Maps. And you know how it kind of pans down onto BKC, and I felt like I was falling into like the moon or something. I couldn't believe how far away it was and how different it was going to be.
You know, the entire thing started 4 years ago when I overheard a conversation in a restaurant back in Australia. And it gave me that idea, you know, what if you're a celebrity? What if you're a high net worth individual or, you know, a very successful business person and you want to do something to give back, but you don't want to just give money to someone else's NGO. You want to create something for yourself with your own name and mark on it. And who is there to help you in doing that? Well, I rang my mum from coaching in Kerala. I said, guess what, Mum, you know, I've decided I'm going to start my own business. She suddenly said, it'll be so wonderful to have you here in Sydney. And I just suddenly went, oh my God, I left out the vital piece of information to tell her that I was starting the business in Mumbai. And I said, oh no, Mum, I'm moving to India, I'm starting the business in India. And there was deathly silence on the end of the phone.
People are helpful, and it's easy to connect with people.
Prasar he's a real estate broker, you know, and I was here in Mumbai on my own. I didn't know a soul, you know, looking for somewhere to live. So he was like a godsend, you know, and we became very good friends, you know. It was really someone for me that I could trust in Mumbai, who could point me in the right direction, and him and his family they became my Indian family, you know.
I have seen different parts of the country and it's so diverse, so varied. Everyone has their own lingo, their own culture, you know, but still there's this one common bond, which is that religious belief, whatever it is, and on top of that, the family structure, you know. During work, I actually met my future wife.
Sunset Goa type wedding, back in Bombay.
I was training with the national team, so, you know, we couldn't have my girlfriend stay with me in the camp. So, you know, we got a hotel. I was worried because I was like, you know, this is her first time coming to India, and I didn't want her to be shocked and run away. But, you know, she took it so well. Like, I mean, she was just like so comfortable with it. She was so excited because she had never seen nothing like that.
Really, my favorite part about India is the welcome that you receive from people and the smiles you get from kids and adults, and just the openness to
The kids.
talk.
Kids want to talk to you, they want to meet you, they want to practice saying English. So it's pretty exciting you almost feel like a celebrity.
You know, we've been very fortunate to work with people like, you know, the great Steve Waugh. Brett Lee is one of our key clients, and obviously the Australian connection there is a big help.
Apart from my job and apart from my relationship, I met with Manisha, I met with Jayant. So, you know, that was really great. And since then, you know, they have been extremely supportive to me. They met with my parents also. So, you know, for me, they are part of my family, my Indian family now.
Her parents had come to meet us all. So it was very different. It's very different for everyone to meet her and to meet her family and to interact with her. And I think Annalise must have learned a lot about her culture, I think, mostly. And to know Indian people, I think Annalise is like a karmic connection, I say.
I learned a lot about this Indian attitude, you know, of seeing life, the way that they see life, the way that they understand things. And you know, I've joined yoga also. I learned how to dance Bollywood. I like to experiment and learn as much as I can.
I think the language, while it can be a barrier in getting your everyday things done, a lot of people speak English, thankfully, because I'm still learning Hindi.
In the beginning, you know, I used to call people and ask, okay, am I speaking to, I don't know, Ashiana? And then she used to say Hanji. And I was like, no, Ashiana, not Hanji. Is this Ashiana? And I used to ask so many times, and you know, all these funny things used to happen.
We showed her the bunk. Of course, mine was 5th time and hers was 1st time. She came back. Earlier we used to translate the movies for her, but now she understands them so well.
Would ek mirchi please, bhaiya? Ha. Must kana bhaiya. Ekdam must. Swadish kana.
I eat all kinds of Indian food, you know. I like biryani, I like any kind of fish. Mombil. Mombil fish is lovely. Mutton. I like my dal. Egg curry. Bangan bhakta. Aloo gobi. Aloo matar. You know? I mean, everything they make, I will eat.
The food, I mean, this is the best food in the world. You have all types of food. So if you're non-veg, if you're a vegetarian, there is everything in India, you know, and the spices that you have here, the flavors, you know, my mouth is watering thinking about it.
I love the spicier the better, ekdam spicy, I love it.
These are very fattening foods, but I really love, you know, the taste is so great and so amazing. I really love chicken biryani. I love butter chicken with naan, butter naan. And bindi also I like.
Well, I mean, the food, it goes without saying, the food is fantastic. It's delicious. We don't have Indian food like that in America. It doesn't compare at all.
Whenever I travel around the world, if there's a good Indian place to eat, I definitely go and check it out. So, you know, the food is amazing.
I've taken it to Brazil also. I've cooked over there Indian food. I've showed it to my family. I gave it to all my relatives to taste. The sweets also I love gulab jamun, I love jalebi. You know, so I'm really passionate about Indian food.
It really has been one of the best things. I've learned to cook a lot of Indian food. You know, when I lived in the village in Tamil Nadu, I learned a lot of things from my mum there, my family. And of course there was lots of it. I mean, that's one thing I've learned about Indian culture and hospitality is, you know, the guest is God and you've got to eat.
I've traveled a few times with my family to the north, to Rishikesh. It's not always the real India, you know. If you really want to go out and discover, you should just take a backpack, get on a local bus, get on a local train and travel and go to places where there's no one else. And that's what I've done for 6 months when I was actually traveling. I have visited quite a lot of places. Whether 6-7 years ago, I traveled from Rajasthan to UP to Varanasi to Bodh Gaya to Kolkata, the whole Orissa coast, Puri. I went into Hampi, which is in itself fascinated. I went into the Orissa jungle close to Atmalik and lived there for 1 month. You know, I went there deep into the jungle and looked for elephants and bears. You know, I've been to Tamil Nadu and visited a lot of the temple towns. I've done the backwaters in Kerala.
We went to Kerala, which was amazing. We rode elephants and took pictures by the beach and ate really good coconut curry. It was really magical.
I've been on a few occasions with my family to Goa, which is, again, a complete different experience.
The first place I had been was Aurangabad, I guess, for that Ajanta and Ellora caves. And that was for a weekend, and I used to, you know, like always, whenever I had a chance to travel with my friends. So north also, I've been to a lot of places, to Varanasi, I've been to Delhi, I've been to Agra 2 times, Delhi some 4 or 5 times I think I have been. For work also I have traveled, I've been to Chennai, I've been to Punjab also, Ludhiana, Jalandhar, Chandigarh.
Wagah border, she cried. I mean, like, imagine a foreigner crying at Wagah border. So, like, you know, I really connect with them very well on that issue.
Every region within India has its unique facets of life, and it's just by trying to go away from your comfort factor and the main tourist infrastructure that could be available and just go out there and sometimes also go to the villages that you get a much deeper and more intense experience that you will ever get when traveling in group or traveling by car or traveling in a very comfort zone, you know. Where I come from in Belgium, most people are Catholic, so I've got a Catholic belief.
I'm half Hindu and half Muslim. So from the beginning, we've all been a part of like everything that's, whether it's Diwali, whether it's Eid, whether it's something Belgian, whether it's Christmas.
And in a country like Australia, where I grew up, in a remote outback area, we're not exposed to other religions or other cultures so much.
I remember the first thing was the Ganesh festival, that one which in Mumbai especially is very big, you know. And that time I used to like enjoy and I remember I went out with my friends, you know, to the streets and then to see how it was happening. And we used to just join that group of people dancing madly and the drums and everything, and we just used to go and dance with them.
It's the Diwali festival, the first Diwali festival of her here in Milestone, wherein we have this coming up dressed in a traditional attire. She was totally new to what sari is all about. So what we did is I got a sari from my home for her, and we went shopping for a blouse, and then we made her drape sari in the office, and it was a total surprise for everybody.
And the first time I arrived it was actually Holi was that day. My first taste of India was playing Holi, which is incredible. Actually, I loved it. It was fantastic.
That's just something that my sister got, these angel, like an angel of protection from Thailand. Yeah. So it kind of protects the temple, my little temple.
I feel it's more important to give her the right basics and values in life than follow a certain path, you know. That's our philosophy.
I think once you come to India as a foreigner, you become part of the family, and that's the feeling you get. And perfect strangers will welcome you and invite you to dinner. Or they include you into their world and celebrations.
It was really beautiful for me to come here and have that exposure and to be able to take different bits and pieces from those different religions, those different ways and festivals and celebrations of faith that I think makes India so special and what is so unique about India. Every pocket of this country offers a different story, a different insight, a different way of life, and yeah, that's fantastic to explore. Although I do find that the longer I'm here, I see everything differently now. Like, this is my home, nothing is new anymore.
People are so humble and so, I mean, you don't find people around the world that have a heart this big that they do in India. So, when you come back here and you see how the people, how they respond to you, it's one of a kind.
And here, my life is full of richness and excitement and adventure every single day, It's always something different, new, something exciting, some contrast, some color. Characters?
Well, I think I came as one person and I'll leave as a new person. My family, first of all, is my life. They always will be my life, and they're the reason I am the person I am. So my father's actually originally from Bombay, from Bandra area. My mother's in Sydney. She comes here quite often. The problem is that I'm on the road a lot. I travel, so I have to speak to her through Skype and other ways, but I keep in touch with them on a daily basis, and they're very supportive of everything I do. They miss me a lot, and I miss them a lot.
I think, of course, I miss my family. I miss them a lot. I come from a very close family, but our lifestyle back in Australia is very different. Before I moved to Mumbai, I lived in a town of 4,000 people, and we knew everyone. And this is my little town of 4,000 people in this street, in this society, in this community, and I love making friends with everyone and having that familiarity.
Do one favor for me, go and check out when the boat is ready, chalega, and also see when I can start the painting, because it has to be completed in a few days' time. Okay?
Education.
India used to have the rule where they never let you have a dual citizenship, and now since I've got my dual citizenship, I'm not leaving. I'm back home. I have my family here. Obviously I love seeing the world, and I'm going to continue to travel, but this has always been home to me. So it's so great to be able to come in here without any problems.
A lot of Indians, they want to go abroad. They don't so much want to travel within their country. They do, of course. I'm not saying they don't, but there's much to see in India.
In India, it's every day's excitement, from the way people drive to the way people speak, everything. It's a one-of-a-kind place. It's amazing, and I think people should come out to India and experience it for themselves, because when you do walk away from here, you appreciate what you might have, because people here, some people have nothing and they still smile. They still find a way to enjoy life and they live life to their fullest. So, you know, it's definitely a unique place. You know, there's no other place like this in the world.
I think I believe that people make choices that lead them to a different path in life. And my choice has been to come to India, and I'm really glad that I did.
My parents, they had been here in this year only, so they knew the place where I stay. They came to my office, they traveled with me. So, you know, a lot of things that they became much more used to and they understood, you know, what is all about. Now they are much more confident about me staying here.
She is not a Brazilian, she's an Indian. She had to come here and there's no way she's going back.
How can I go back to Australia after this, you know? How can I go back to that life and that, you know, that way of life after all this colour and chaos and craziness? You know, it's addictive. And you know, I could never go back and live that old life, even though I loved my old life back in Australia. But this is it, you know, and so yeah, I see myself growing very old here.